So good morning, everyone. Pretty awesome day. So my name's Christine Dorinick-Lopez. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for the City of Philadelphia, and today is an awesome day. I'm here with the members of ODDT, which is the Office of Open Data and Digital Transformation, and that office has two goals. One is to publish open data, so that empowers our residents and increases transparency of city government. So that's obviously the open data part. And the other component of the office is digital transformation. And that's about currently, right now, what the team is working on is modernizing the city's website, Phila.gov. So in a few minutes, Chief Data Officer Tim Wisniewski, as well as other members of the team, are gonna talk about the redesign, which is much more than just making the site a nicer site to look at, right? It's about upgrading it and modernizing it. And it's about reorienting the site about the needs of to the needs of the residents, the businesses, as well as the other stakeholders. So that means that rather than, it's like playing with me, rather than restructuring the site by the way the government's structured, by department, and thinking that residents will intuitively know where to go when they need a service. This is about you, the visitor, will go to Phila.gov, and you don't have to figure out what department does the service. Rather, it's more intuitive, and you're looking for trash pickup. You don't have to know it's the streets department. You'll be able to find, when is my trash pickup? It's focusing on what you, our residents, need. But obviously, we're not done yet. Not all of the old material on Phila.gov was migrated over. But today's an important milestone because it brings an end to beta and launches Phila.gov. And it means that all of our visitors, when they come to Phila.gov, will be greeted by a service-oriented site the moment they arrive. And this way we can better support the needs, the goals, and the successes of all Philadelphians. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chief Data Officer Tim Wisniewski to give you a tour of Phila.gov.
Good morning. I'm Tim Wisniewski. I'm the Chief Data Officer and Director of the Office of Open Data and Digital Transformation. We're a 15-person office within the Chief Administrative Officer's portfolio, and we were formed to create digital services that support the success and well-being of all Philadelphians. Today, we're announcing a major milestone of our flagship product, Phila.gov. For those of you who visited the city's website in the last couple years, it's going to look pretty familiar. It's been available at beta.phila.gov until today, and you may have used it to search for a property or find out how to visit someone in prison or find out how to get Narcan training. So today is actually not a grand reveal. We structured this project in a way that allowed it to deliver value 6 weeks from its inception in December 2014. Alpha let us test the hypothesis that people didn't want to have to know which department offered the government service that they were after. It allowed us to test the hypothesis that people wanted to find property data from a bunch of different departments at a single place. And most importantly, allowed us to test the hypothesis that our department partners would be on board with all of this. Through user research conducted by our UX fellows, we found that some things worked for users and others didn't. For instance, we had to really rework the way that navigation worked on mobile. But launching early with the intention of continuously iterating allowed us to make improvements based on feedback. In October 2016, we launched Beta, a significantly refined version of the site that introduces the concept of a services directory and laid plans for new sections of the site like programs and initiatives, news and events, forums and publications. Since then, the team has worked to build out those new sections of the site and improve the existing features. While we've called it beta this whole time, it's really been in production the whole time. Since its inception, and it's already handled over 40% of web traffic. Today, it becomes Phila.gov. Now, there's still work to be done. We've got 15 plus years worth of content from over 60 different departments that we're still been getting through. But you'll hear from our content strategist shortly about how the approach we've taken has allowed us to bring over the most important content first. So again, today is not a grand reveal. Rather, it's a compilation of a bunch of mini reveals that we've made to get to this point. You're going to hear from 5 speakers shortly in very short segments, and that's intentional, because from the outset, this project hasn't been about a small team of techies swooping in to fix the city's website. It's been about empowering departments with new methods. Our team includes not only software developers and graphic designers, but content strategists, user experience designers, and service designers. Our work includes not just coding, but working with department colleagues to understand the role of design in government, to identify the needs of their target audience, to simplify complex services using plain language, and to train and hire writers at departments to ensure content overhauls get better over time rather than stagnating. And in the same way that City Hall and the concourse are the city's front door, its website is the city's digital front door. And it's the way many residents experience interacting with government. And with the hundreds of things that government does, it can be really difficult to navigate all of that as a resident to find the service you're after, especially if you're someone who only interacts with government, say, once a year. So for us, it's about doing the hard work to make that easy. Up next, you'll hear from Sarah Hall, Phila.gov's product manager, for an overview of the new features.
Wonderful, thank you, Tim. As Tim mentioned, I'm Sarah Hall, product manager for Phila.gov. We've been working on designing and developing the features since the site's inception. By doing this, we've created a robust platform that is able to handle much of the city's content. To date, all departments have representation on the site. We've fully migrated 25 departments, and we host over 300 services, 40 programs and initiatives, and over 2,300 publications and forums. We also released digital standards at standards.phila.gov. Here we outline content, design, and development standards for the city's digital experience. Alpha proved the hypothesis that residents don't necessarily need to know which department provides a city service. To most people, the city is the city. We've made it possible for residents to find department content through multiple ways throughout different parts of the site. We've enhanced the search by creating the ability to filter by page type, enabling residents to find what they're looking for faster. Prior to the new Phila.gov release, beta.phila.gov searched over 4,000 pages. Now, with a single domain, we're searching more than 28,000 pages. And that can be a bit overwhelming, so these enhancements were much needed. Residents can navigate to departments using the city government directory. Each department has their full name, an acronym if applicable, short description, and contact information. Services, which Tim mentioned, is a cornerstone of the beta launch, organizes city services by topic. There's no need to know what department provides the service you need. Instead, you can search by topic or by an alphabetical listing of services that can be filtered. Individual service pages are organized to quickly and clearly convey an overview of a specific service, the who, what, when, where, and how. It also links residents to relevant forms and instructions. Programs and Initiatives houses all the programs and initiatives on the platform. It allows residents to search, select an audience or category, search for a term, or browse the available sections. If a resident needs to find a program for their child, they can highlight children and families and see all the programs available. Each individual program and initiative homepage shows contact details and also provides information specific to the program or initiative. Publication and forms, of course, shows all publications and forms on the platform. It's searchable. It can be filtered by department. It's also sortable by published date and title. And we have news and events, which really provides an outlet for departments to share important news and events. Posts allow departments to share updates in a less formal format. Action guides are designed to help residents understand complicated issues. It also provides them a way to act and get involved. Events, which range from fitness classes to movie nights to board meetings, highlight the city's day-to-day activities. And of course, there are press releases. One of our newest additions, Spotlights, highlights a specific featured city event. These events range from one-day career empowerment fair or to the month-long LGBT Pride Month. Next, we'll hear from a few of our department partners. We'll start with Rebecca Lopez-Chris. from the Department of Revenue. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. My name is Rebecca Lopez-Chris. I'm with the Philadelphia Department of Revenue, and I am really, really excited to be here today. I'd first like to congratulate the entire ODDT team. It is an understatement to say that your years and years of work helps Philadelphia departments do a better job communicating with its constituents, and I think revenue is case in point. We all know that taxes are everyone's favorite topic. It's true because it is one of the most searched, revenue content is one of the most searched for. And that is why revenue was chosen as one of the first large departments to transition to the new platform. And for us, it's more than just a slick look and feel. I mean, it's really important, like mobile responsive design and improved search is really important to help residents and businesses find the information they need. But moreover, the shift, the Phila.gov project has shifted the way our department thinks about how we communicate with taxpayers. So stressing clear language and meeting taxpayers where they are has become a fundamental tenet of not only our digital content, but also our letters, our forms, our emails, and in-person outreach. We've hired a content manager and improved our outreach staff who make sure that what we put out there makes sense to real people, not just CPAs and lawyers. I'll let you make your own CPA and lawyer joke. The new revenue site also gives us greater control to react faster to legislative changes, and it also enables us to make more engaging content. For example, if you're not reading the revenue blog, you are missing out, because not only are we sharing information that helps people understand their rights and responsibilities, but also how to save money with programs and assistance. A well-designed website is just part of our work administering taxes, but it has become the backbone of our outreach strategy. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the folks at Revenue who guided this transformation. Niera Snipes, the Special Assistant to the Revenue Commissioner, she helped guide the process within our department, and the many content experts, the subject matter experts, who spent a lot of time making sure that we got it right. So thank you very much to those folks. And I'd like to say thank you very much to the Revenue Commissioner, Frank Breslin, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but he understands the value in a forward-thinking project like this, and it is helping us communicate better. And I'd also like to say a very big thank you to Tim Wisniewski, Tamar Fox, Carissa Demi, the entire ODDT team for taking the time to make sure that revenue can be its very best self. So thank you very much. I'm really excited to work with you, and it's awesome. It's awesome to be a part of this. Thanks. So coming next is Symbol Lai from the Office of Immigrant Affairs, and she's going to share her experience.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Symbol Lai. I'm the Deputy Director for the Office of Immigrant Affairs. I'm here today to gush about the wonderful work that the Office of Open Data and Digital Transformation has done with OIA. So this past June, OIA and ODDT worked on piloting the event spotlight page, which you see here, for Immigrant Heritage Month. So Immigrant Heritage Month is a national month in which we use storytelling to explore and highlight the depth of immigrant experiences, the diversity of immigrant identities, and to think about ways that we can connect with immigrant communities even if we don't immediately identify as an immigrant. And so when we celebrated Immigrant Heritage Month this year, our office worked with the Free Library of Philadelphia and community organizations to put on storytelling events throughout the city. We also developed a storytelling campaign that encouraged people to share their stories using the hashtag #IStandWithPhillyImmigrants. So in all, we received around 52 submissions for events at branch libraries and neighborhood organizations. This is a lot of events, and in the past, when OIA had to put on citywide celebrations of this scale, we resorted to blogs. And so for example, last year's Welcoming Week, we listed all the information and descriptions or the 40+ events on one giant scrolling blog, which ended up being around 14 pages. And as you can imagine, it was pretty unruly and not very accessible to the public, because every time if you wanted to find something that happened later on in the week, in the 10-day period, you just had to scroll for 14 pages. And it was also difficult for our office because every time we wanted to update something, we had to scroll through 14 pages and fit it into the right place. So we don't have to do that anymore with the Event Spotlight, and we're so excited that we don't have to do that anymore. This year with the Event Spotlight page, we were able to clean things up. We were able to shorten a lot of the content to make our events a lot more easily accessible and searchable for the public. Instead of a blog that's hard to update, it gave us the ability to update it in real time. We also have the ability to pin different blogs from other initiatives in the city to the Event Spotlight page. So for example, this year in June's Immigrant Heritage Month coincided with the Department of Commerce Passport PHL, which featured immigrant restaurants, right? So these are two different departments. Oftentimes, our initiatives just happened to coincide at the same time, but because we were able to pin the blogs together, it looked like, the city was a cohesive whole, and that, all the things that were celebrating immigrants in the month of June appeared together in the Event Spotlight page. And this is something that we hope to use in the future next year when we partner with the Office of LGBT Affairs, so that we can highlight, June also happens to be Pride Month, so we can highlight Pride and immigrant heritage together, right? In all, the Event Spotlight page was organized, sleek, and easy to use. And it also helped that our office loved working with the Office of ODDT. We are friends now. They listened to our many needs and responded. And we loved working with ODDT so much that we're working with them again for another Welcoming Week Event Spotlight page. So this is coming in September. So speaking on behalf of all of OIA and all the people out there who had to scroll through 14 pages for Welcoming Week last year, thank you so much for coming up with this feature. It's just a lot easier, and I think it meets the mission of this project. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jean Adamson. I'm the Content Strategy Practice Lead, and my team is responsible for parsing through that 15 years worth of content that Tim was talking about. The work that we do is often called a content migration, but I think that really undersells what my team does. To make this transformation possible, our team of editors and writers worked with city colleagues like Symbol and Rebecca to assess the content that they already have. We then organize it into what's worth keeping and what's going to have to go. We identify what's missing, and we provide templates and style guides so that they can write the new content. We also provide procedures so that the content that we all work on so hard is able to be sustained for years in the future. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that process. We turn jargony government writing into straightforward, easy-to-read text that allows residents and businesses to find what they need quickly. We believe that this well-written service content and program content will go a long way in building trust with residents, and also it'll make our government more effective. During the writing phase, when we really get down to the nitty-gritty and we're doing pair writing with partners, we advocate for plain language. There are so many good reasons to use plain language. It is easier for us all to read. It's easier to translate accurately, and it's easy to maintain. And it makes government more inclusive and effective. Simply put, plain language is good for democracy. The new site is modular. Sorry about that. It's built on templates, so new content can be published as it becomes available. This is really important because we can publish a much-needed service piece without waiting for an entire department to transition. So we can move quickly, and when changes need to be made, we're nimble. As part of our work, we empower teams of writers. We empower teams of writers by holding regular training sessions and we publish style guides that city writers can refer to as they're writing. The standards allow colleagues to write in a clear manner, and more importantly, it provides a consistent voice across a site. So if you're looking at a site from Revenue, and then you look at a site from Parks and Rec, the voice is the same. That's an important user experience for residents and businesses alike. Because we work side by side with department colleagues, we know them well, we know how they work, and we could make solid recommendations about how to support their publication process. As you see here, this is a typical content governance model that we call. What it really involves is figuring out who has which roles and who's responsible for what, who's doing what when. This enables content teams to publish content with grace and ease rather than chaos and crazy workarounds. And once we develop policies, they can keep their content accurate and fresh. So now that we've laid this groundwork, I'm going to tell you a little about where we're going. Currently, we're working with over 6 departments. We're better engaged we're better enabled to work quickly and accurately with entities of all sizes, and we can create sites quickly. We are on schedule now to decommission the legacy content off Phila.gov within the year. Thank you. Up next, we have Tom Swanson, and he's going to talk about the big improvements to the site infrastructure.
Thank you, Jean. Good morning. I'm Tom Swanson, Chief Enterprise Architect for the Office of Innovation and Technology, or OIT. With today's update, Phila.gov not only includes content that was formerly beta, but also includes a new infrastructure platform. This new platform is resilient, scalable, secure, and fast. This project was a cross-department collaboration, which included developers from both OIT and ODDT. This team was able to meet these goals by using our cloud platform, so that today, Phila.gov has multiple endpoints or redundancies, making it resilient. Phila.gov can scale to handle massive spikes in traffic. Phila.gov has many levels of security to protect the content. Most importantly, Phila.gov has been optimized to provide the fastest possible delivery of content to users' browsers or devices. The entire process of this migration has resulted in the targeting of the remaining legacy applications for upgrades. Many have already been updated to modern and supportable technology. As Jean just mentioned, the remaining applications will be updated within the next year. And with that, I will let Tim wrap it up. Thank you.
So last thing, I just want to add that this launch wouldn't have been possible without the hard work and professionalism of our early team members, including those at OIT, our digital transformation fellows, as well as the immense support from the mayor's office, the partnership from our department colleagues, the support and guidance from the CAO, and of course, our wonderful team. As Jean mentioned, we're working with 6 to 10 departments at any given time, so you'll see more and more being migrated over in the months to come. Now that we have a robust website platform with reusable features to enable it and a solid plan to get the rest of the way. Any questions?
So the rest of the way involves 6 departments, is that?
I'm sorry, we're working with 6 to 10 departments at any given time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many departments are left to?
So every department has a presence on the platform, and the way that we've structured the project has allowed us to bring over the most critical services from the different departments first.
There are over 100 entities. All right, come back. The content ecosystem, actually, there are over 100 different entities. So some of them are departments, some of them are boards, commissions, offices. We also have pages for task force, et cetera. So sometimes when people say departments, I think it's worth clarifying. Currently, we have 25 sites fully migrated onto beta. There's another 50 or so that have a solid presence, so that might mean they have an About Us content, they have a calendar, so they're represented pretty well. And then there are another, say, 30 or so that just have a presence on the site, so that if a user were to come to our site and search for, say, the free library, they'll find a page and they'll be linked to the free library site. Because we can't expect residents or visitors or businesses for that matter to know that, oh, the free library actually isn't on the .gov domain. So that's a long-winded answer, but it's also a kind of a complicated question.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Great.
And I'm sorry, did you say how many people use the site daily?
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Gosh. We should know. I should have prepped that. Yeah. We totally know. It's like sitting on our computer. I'm sorry. Can I shoot you that one over email?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
And then the one thing that's really changed on the new website is the directory. It used to be a by name list. You could really find anybody that worked anywhere in city government, and now it's by department. So it's.
Oh, you thinking of the phone directory, maybe? Oh, yeah. So the phone directory is still available. I think the address is still the same, and it's probably still in the footer, if I'm not mistaken. It's kind of the original phone directory. I think that's one of the applications that Tom was talking about. Yeah, we'll double check. But
On the old site, you could click on phone directory, and you got one thing. On the new site, you click on city directory, and you get something else. You get a list of.
oh, okay. I think I see what you're saying. So this is kind of two different things. So one of them is a list to browse the website through the departments. Like if you just want to go to a department's website, there's a list of those departments, and each department has its own contact information.
Phone numbers and stuff.
Right, like for the general contact. On each department site itself, we also have a staff listing of the different staff, like their titles, their email addresses, and their contact numbers. But there's also an application that's called the phone directory that's been around for quite a number of years. That's available. It's like Phila.gov/phone-dir. And that is still available.
Okay, will that also be decommissioned though over the next year?
Tom's saying yes, yeah.
And replaced with something similar? So you can
Yeah.
look it up by name?
Yeah, so what we've started to do with the department websites is they have the actual staff directory listed there. So now what we have to figure out is, all right, in addition to, typically for a large department, it'll be like the executive staff, right? Like so something like Parks and Rec with maybe hundreds of employees, they're gonna list like their exec team on there. Other departments, they have a small staff, so they'll list everyone. So what we have to figure out is how do we merge that with the existing database of like all employees to make it easy for you to get in touch directly with employees without having a list of staff that's like overwhelming on every single department site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Is user testing now done? Will you be continue to kind of connect with the community to see what the feedback is?
Yeah, that's something that we had a great opportunity to do that about a year ago. Leanna, our deputy director, led a team of UX designers to do user research at key spots in several neighborhoods in Philadelphia, where she actually sat residents down with the new website shortly after we launched beta to figure out what worked and what needed to be improved. And we took a lot of that feedback and incorporated it into the launch of Phila.gov. We have another UX designer starting in about a month.
And any more research plan now that it's all live?
Yeah, I mean, it's been about building that capacity. So right now, Leanna and Devika, our service design team, have actually been doing a project around the Office of Homeless Services, around the homeless intake process. That's more along the lines of service design. We're hoping to bring that together with the work that we do around the website starting in 2019.
And Tim, I'm sure if this is for you or maybe Tom, I'd love to hear a little bit more detail on the technology itself, the migration towards the cloud, and what that process was like.
Yeah, sure. We could talk for an hour about that. Yeah. So it's all in Amazon Web Services. It's in our cloud platform. It is a static site. So what that means is instead of every single request coming in, hitting the database and a server and generating a response, it's already been done, and we're just serving you these files that we've already sort of pre-compiled, so to speak. And those files themselves are distributed to data centers all around the world through a content delivery network. So as a result, if you're in, say, Italy requesting the site, you don't have to go all the way to Philadelphia to get the content. You go to a data center in like Italy or Germany that already has it right there, so it's going to be much faster.
The only other thing is that it makes it more secure because it is static content and more difficult to hack.
When did that migration take place?
Yeah.
Today,
Yeah. The team, including folks from OIT at the back and our software developer at ODDT, have been working over the last about 2.5 months to really put that together. It's all open source. It's on our GitHub organization. You can see us like having conversations with one another, like, oh, we need a redirect for this. Can you approve this? And okay, deploy that. So it's all out there.
We've spoken in the past about this, but it's different. You know, if I have a website, if I have a blog and I want to put it on the cloud, I'm free to do so. But maybe for government, it's not as easy as let's just put it there. Any compliance stuff that was complicated or any specific hurdle that you had to get past in order to go to the cloud?
Well, I think that the folks at OIT experience those sorts of compliance issues all the time, especially when dealing with different data and database storage. But fortunately, most of the content that we end up putting on the website, it's all public information anyway. We do, of course, have to worry about people accessing the system that shouldn't have access to it to be able to make updates. But we are able to make our software open source. We're able to put it out there and encourage even public participation in it. The way that new departments kind of engage with us, there is a process around that, and that's in order to keep the website like centralized, have a consistent look and feel, and keep building reusable features instead of like one-off features and that kind of thing. But that's less compliance and more process that you really need in an organization as large as ours.
So Phila.gov is cloud-based.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah, great. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you everyone for taking the time to come out today and talk to us. Really appreciate it.